Our reflection this morning is titled, "What will your end be like?" What will your end be like? Can you ask somebody that question? Because whether we like it or not, the end will come. And the end of everything, it's very important. Because it is an impression that seems to stay with people more. Ending of activities stays more with people than sometimes the beginning. Of course, the beginning is also important. But ending is much more important. Back in the seminary when we were writing exams, philosophy, to be precise, they will always tell us that the lecturer is always interested, much more interested in our introduction and conclusion. Many of the times you get your mark from introduction and conclusion. The body most times is just write all the jargons, but conclude well. We were at a gathering recently, and people were commenting, making question and answers and comment. And somebody stood up, and after his comment, the moderator of that gathering looked at him and he said, "Well, I think you made more sense at conclusion." And I said to myself, so every other thing are rubbish, but then conclusion saved this man from being a stupid person. Conclusion. Concluding part of everything is very important. When somebody builds a beautiful house, for instance, and after that beautiful house, I use an example. There is a house very close to our outstation at Elebu. For those of you who have been at Elebu recently, you will see that house. And I asked them, "Is this house beautiful?" And they said, "Yes." And I concluded, what made that house beautiful is the conclusion of that house. When you finish building a house, no matter how big that house may be, and you put a very rubbish paint on that house, at the end of the day, when people pass by, you know what they will say? This person built this fine house, finished. Can't go use this yeye paint spoiler. Conclusion. Very important. Conclusion. It is often said that one should always leave the stage while the applause is what? Is very loud. You are on a stage performing. Maybe a comedian or musician, whatever you are. An artist. And people are giving you standing ovation. It is always advised, the moment they give you standing ovation, you should do what? Leave the stage. And that impression will remain. Because people are interested in ending. The end of everything you do, the end of everything you are doing now matters a lot. End well. The end of what we are doing now can make or mar us. If you are an apprentice, you are learning work, and you are not ending well, you are going to be in problem. You are an apprentice. And you separate from your oga with quarrel. And you fail to get your oga's blessing. You will have, whether you like it or not, you will have challenges. Because you have not ended well. There is an ending blessing you need to acquire. Why do you think that before a lady leaves the house at introduction for the Yorubas, at marriage introduction, what happens? The couple comes and they sit at the lap of the father and the mother, and then is that not correct? Why do you think that is being done? It's an ending of an era that needs to end with prayer perfectly. Those who quarrel to leave the house, I must marry. Now this man, you by fire by force, and then you pack out. Go and check. There will always be a problem. Whether you like, you may not trace that problem to that foundation, but there's always a problem. There is always. Because ending is very important. End everything you do well. Everything must not end in quarrel. Even your relationship can also end peacefully. It is not compulsory that every relationship must lead to marriage. It's not written anywhere. You can be in a relationship with someone, and when you see that the relationship is not working, you call the person and sit the person down. And you say, Auntie, or whatever you call her, Auntie, this thing is not going to work between us. Can we go our ways? Such that you see yourselves at an occasion after that, you can greet and still hug yourselves. It is not compulsory that it must end in quarrel, because most of the time, when it ends in quarrel, there will always be repercussion. Always. I think I've told you this story here before. I don't know. We are live. I'm sure perhaps the owner of this story may come across it anytime. But just know, if you come across this video, please know that it's to teach. It's to pass a message. A young man had an issue with the girlfriend. In fact, we were supposed to go and have introduction that month. And then problem began. And then he suddenly called me and he said, Father, you are the only one who I feel can solve this problem, blah, blah, blah. I said, send me the person's number. Send the girl's number, and I called the girl. The girl no dey agree. The boy no dey agree. The boy kept threatening. I will use my connection. I know so soldier. I know the DPO. I know this one. I will arrest you. I will arrest all your family members. The girl herself was threatening. The daughter of a soldier. He said, my father is a soldier. I will lock you up in a guard room. I will do you this one. I will do you that one. I called the young boy and said, Oga, can you calm down? This thing can actually end in peace. Everybody will go their ways. It doesn't necessarily have to end like that. He said, Father, I'm going to show her. And I said, why did you now call me at the epic? Why you already know what you want to do? Why involving me? Oh, I'm going to show her. She thinks she has sense. She thinks she has connection. I'm going to deal with her. Blah, 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 blah. It's okay. And the first time I saw the picture of the lady on the DP, I knew that this person is not an ordinary person. You know, sometimes young men don't want to agree and accept that it's not every woman that is soft meat. You will say, Abi? Not be every woman. And that's why I keep begging every young man. It's not every woman you must climb. Hello? Be careful. Not be every woman be waiting you see. You are only seeing the physical. You don't know waiting that person take stand. I knew this person was not ordinary. And I kept begging. I said, look, the way this thing is going. And before they ended and went their way, the girl called him and said, look, forget that we go to church. In my family, we worship Ogun. And I am going to deal with you. And the boy thought it was a joke. That week they separated. The next week, his work ceased. And do you know what? Till this moment I am talking with you, nothing. It's getting close to 1 year now. Nothing. Nothing. When I mean nothing. Everything must not end in quarrel. Sometimes let it go. You are in a relationship and it's not working. Both of you call yourselves, sit yourselves down. Brother, it's not going to work. If you bought properties together, bring your property, share it. Oh yeah, auntie, take your own. Let me take my own. Go your way. Let me go my way. Pray for yourselves. Auntie, as you are going, you will find a man that is after your own heart. Brother, as you are going, you will find a man that is after your own heart. You are not going to suffer. Pray for yourself and go. When you see yourselves tomorrow, hello, hi, what's up? And everybody will go. Everybody will be happy. But the moment you begin to say, I have connection, you may be connected physically. The other person may be connected spiritually. And when spiritual jam physical, something will happen. The thing will happen, either positive or negative. But the fact is that something must happen. Be careful. End well. As we come gradually to the end of this liturgical year, because the year will end next Sunday. Next Sunday is the feast of Christ, the King of the universe. And that will be the ending, the last Sunday of the year in the church's calendar. And the following Sunday, the church will tell you, Happy New Year. As the year is coming to an end, the church as a mother reminds us of our end. Because just as the way and manner we end our activities here on earth can make or mar us, so also the way and manner we live and end our lives here can also make or destroy us. When I finished Mass this morning, I went into my car and I was driving back. And I got to a point, some children from Mass going home stopped me. You know, I greeted them. I'm a very little boy. Perhaps that boy should be maybe 4 years. 4 years. He said, Father, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something. No, how children, Father, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something. And I was in the car. I stopped. And I gave him my hand. And he held my hand. And then he, tried to lift himself up. He wanted to whisper to my ears. And then I brought down my ears. And he said, Father, if heaven is a heaven, where is hell? Sincerely speaking, I was not ready for that question. And in order not to fool I just told him, go and ask your daddy. Because if I go into that case, that boy will be ready to hold me down there for 1 hour. Because a boy that asks me that kind of question will not stop. If you give him an answer, more questions will come. And I said to myself, these children, somebody said that the children we are giving birth to these days are our great-grandfathers that are coming. Of course, definitely I'm going to give him the answer to that question next Sunday when I will have enough time for him. the way we end our lives here is either we go to heaven or we go to hell. If you like, after Mass, come and ask me like that little boy, if heaven is heaven, where is hell? Maybe in your dream, God will show you where hell is. Maybe. To show the importance of our last day on earth and the need to prepare to end well, the scripture often talks about the end. Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 15. Father, you read down to 16. Says that the end is going to be a day of anguish. It's going to be a day of distress. It's going to be a day of destruction. It's going to be a day of darkness. It's going to be a day of gloom. It's going to be a time of thick cloud, trumpet blast, and battle alarms, especially for those who will not end well. And a moment of fright. I don't know if you have experienced and see where somebody passed away. You will understand what Zephaniah is saying. If you have experienced and be where someone passed away, you will understand what Zephaniah is saying. You will see the struggle, the groaning, the battle. You will understand what Zephaniah is going. For those who didn't end well, it's going to be a battle because you will not want to go. You will struggle. You will shout. They bring drip, you will tear it away. You are battling. Everybody that comes around, you are fighting everyone because you are seeing something waiting for you. But most times when you experience when peaceful people die, you self, death go to hungry you. You know, when we talk like this, sometimes you don't, probably because I am a priest and we have experienced so many deaths. And those things no be anything from, you know, when you see where we priests use death to even, Father Nathaniel, many times, oh boy, you never die. I go to, you never reach now, not small, don't worry. It doesn't, it doesn't, you call yourself, oh boy, you still there alive, you don't go die. And I will go say, now you go die before me now, should be the first ordain you. And you go say, the first, the one where die, the one where spend 1 year before you die. So you know me, it doesn't matter. You can die before me, no matter. Life, because you have seen life, you've seen people pass. My classmate will tell me, he said, oh boy, if I first you die, I'm sure he will see this video. I'm sure it will crack him up. He'll tell me, oh boy, if I first you die, now you go preach for my funeral. Not allow anybody to come there. But if you first me die, now me go preach. But then he will always conclude, he say, I beg, make I warn you now. Oh God. He say, I beg, make I warn you now. When you go to preach for my funeral, no make me laugh. Because if you make me laugh, I stand up for that casket, now problem. I will scatter the barrier and then I will come back inside the casket again. That's life. When you see life, it won't make meaning. In fact, most times we go for funeral, you see the caskets that we use now, everybody is choosing. If you notice very recently, the caskets that we use to bury our priests have become almost the same. It's contract. You give the person contract. And many of us love it. Somebody like me, it's very beautiful. And I'll say, oh my, if I die, I say that this one they go use for me. Oh, you say, there is no time you will not, no matter how you run away from it. In fact, it is my prayer that I die and I die. Let them see my corpse and put in that box. There are people that their corpse is not found. They can't be in that box. So when I choose a casket, don't say, In fact, it gives me more room to be more conscious about life. That life does not end here. They say casket, no, they fine. Abi? Not true? Casket, no, they fine. Nowadays, you know they fine. Is they fine, Abi? Casket, they fine. Very beautiful. Can even buy it and use it at bed. You enter inside. Decorate yourself well. Stretch well. Tell them when they snap you. Hang out for your room. When you are going out in the morning, you look at it. Oh God, this is what you are. When you come in, you look at it. This is what you are. Be very, very careful. Because sometimes, because we don't talk about some of these things, that's why sometimes we misbehave. Ìgbà mélòó la ní lò láyé? Ilé ayé fúngbà díẹ̀ ni yo. It's just for a while. If you like, you can live 100 years old. It will come. And that's what the church is reminding us today. The church says, be careful. And that's why Zephaniah is saying, for those who have not lived well, this is what is going to be for them. It's going to be a torment. But then Isaiah tells us in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9 to 13, he says that this day is going to be a day of judgment and vindication, in which God would punish sinners. That's Isaiah talking. He says, punish. Now when you say God punish you. And St. Paul reminds us, first letter of St. Paul to Thessalonians, when you read from chapter 5, verse 2, St. Paul tells us that the end will come like a thief in the night. Therefore, we must prepare well, because failure to prepare well for that day is preparation to fail. Prophet Malachi, whose name means Yahweh's messenger, in our first reading this morning, speak bluntly about the end. He tells us about the end. We just read 2 verses of that chapter. And in those 2 verses we read today in our first reading, the prophet has these words of threat for those who may not end the event of their lives well. Those who are not living their lives well. Those who are not living their lives well. Listen to what Malachi says. Malachi says, for those who have not made an effort to end their lives here well, those who have refused to turn away from their arrogance, the evildoers, those who have used their money to oppress the poor, those who have not used their talent well, those who have not made an effort to keep away from sin, those who have not made an effort to keep away from lying, those who have not made an effort to keep away from adultery, fornication, masturbation, sexual immoralities, those who have not done well to use their God-given money to praise God, those who have not served God with their God's-given money. The prophet Malachi says that day is going to burn like an oven. I don't know. If you have a bulletin, can you please read that first reading for me again? Who took that first reading? Who took the first reading? Please, just read the bulletin so that you will not think I'm the one saying this. Just read loud from there. Thank you. You can stop there. Behold, the day comes burning like an oven. I don't know if you have experienced a little burnt of fire. Women will understand this more. You are frying dodo, and mistakenly the small oil just touch your body. How do you feel? You shout, Abi, and you wail. Malachi says, behold, That day is going to burn like an oven for those who have not made effort to end their lives well. But then listen. He says, those who have made effort to end well, for those who have made effort to end well, those who fear the name of the Lord, those who have made effort to worship God with their God-given talent and wealth, those who have made effort to praise and give God glory with their gifts that God has given to them, those who have not oppressed the poor with the money God has given to them, those who have struggled to keep away from sin, those who have struggled to live above their sin, those who have struggled to live a righteous life. Malachi says that for people like this, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings, and they shall be rewarded with eternal joy. Which group do you think you belong? Where do you think you belong? What will your end be like? That great day is coming. That great day is coming when all shall stand before the throne of God and give account of their life. Your mother will stand, my mother will stand, me, I will stand, all of us will stand, me and you will stand before the throne of God to give account of our life. Will that day come in pain with pain? Will it come with shame? Will it come with regrets? For our end to be in praise, we must persevere. Many of us Christians began well. You can remember and think back on the day you received, sorry, we are concluding this reflection very, very soon. Remember the first day you received First Holy Communion? I don't know how many of you, can you have a flashback? The first day you received First Holy Communion. How did you feel that day? Eh? How? Heaven on earth. Abi? Where you wear that white. Put white rosary on your neck. And fold your hand. And they waka like persuade of the sheet. You are not seeing anything beside you. All you are seeing is God. I am coming to meet you. And then you eventually receive the Holy Communion. You walk back very solemnly. And as you walk back without your candle, you kneel down in adoration. How far? How has it been now? Do you still feel that? We don't see God finish. Today, it is something else. Some don't even, confession has become a thing of the past. Nobody talks about confession again. You just mad. You know what? Whenever I preach this, choir will be reminding you. As you will be marching, like person where just they come from, where and go park, I don't know. You know they walk out, they go. Choir, as you are coming, choir will be reminding. Roki yoto tesiwaju. Roki yoto la. Choir, please sing. Help me. Arat there. So tosi yo. Share. Why choir will be telling you to think well before you go? This body and blood you want to go and receive. Hey. Are you supposed to? You go to do, well, I beg you, daddy. You dey waka, they go. How far? We started well. Many have fallen off today. Many today began well. But things are no longer well again. How are we preparing? Today is our Thanksgiving Day. One of the ways you can also prepare is to use your God's given wealth to serve God, to give for the progress of God's kingdom here on earth. Unfortunately, we live in a generation that no longer believe in donation in the church. What you hear today is, oh, church is to you. They don't belly full. But then when there is need, what happens? They still fall back to the same church. They tell you, oh, church, bring out money. Let us do this. And then you ask them, where will church bring that money from? After this, I will conclude. Last 3 weeks, I think some of you noticed, I was terribly ill. Very sick. Very, very sick. And on Saturday, when I was struggling, I was just thinking, how will I say the Sunday Mass? For those who remember very well, that Sunday, for those who take note, they knew that I was not all right. That Saturday, somebody began to call me. I picked the call. I am not fine. I said, I'm not fine. And the person said, the person needed money. The person needed money. Needed house rent. Father. He needed house rent. I said, I'm not feeling fine. He said, Father, anything you have to support us. I am not fine. Okay, should I call you tomorrow now? When the person said, should I call you tomorrow now? I ended the call. That Sunday, when I finished here, I lay on my bed even with my castle because I was almost gone. But because I didn't want anybody to be telling me, oh, Pele, sorry, I kept packaging myself so that nobody, the moment I left here and I run, enter my house, lie on the bed, just to catch at least 1 hour to refresh myself. Because I was almost going. I was there. The person kept calling. Kept calling. Kept calling. And I picked. Hello? Father. And I said to myself, if I actually cause this, if I actually cause this person, say, you know, go, now one of us, one of us. And so when people tell you, oh, church don't be a fool, and I ask them, when such requests come, Father, when will they work? Where will he get that money to give? What Father gives to you is what you bring to the church. Whatever you give to the church goes, I keep saying this, whatever you give to the church goes back to you. Whatever at all you give to the church goes back to you. And that is why I encourage us today. It is once in a year to support our growing church. I know some have been doing it. Sometimes it can be tough and all of that. But then we must not get tired. In whichever way we can support the growth of God's kingdom here on earth. Some of us, I ask us, since you became a Catholic, can you beat your chest and say, oh, this is one tangible thing I will say I have done financially for the church of God to grow. The only thing people will say, Tabadawo, Tobafiko church, I want more Onile church, I mean Tobafiko school. Our children will not be able to go to those schools. And I said, who said that? How much is our school fees here? I hope you know that here we don't pay salary because our money can't pay salary in this school. I have above 120 students here. But our salary can't pay their salary. I mean, our school fees can't pay their salaries. The Archbishop still pays salary here. Where does he get the money from? Does he have a shop? And yet people tell you today, you don't have to give for the support of the church. You don't have to give for the growth of the church. The fact is, I know one thing about the Catholic Church, we are quiet doers. We won't come and tell you what we are doing. Go and search around. I don't think you will see any school that is as perfect as this school that their school fees is 17,000. I don't think you will find. Go and look for anywhere. I don't think you will find. But yet, will still sit down and condemn. The next thing you hear, our tithe and offering. Tithe and offering. How many of you seated here pay tithe? How many? Tithe and offering. Tithe and offering, people are, somebody called me one day and said, you don't finish mass now, tithe and offering, very boku. And I said, look, never in your life, when we talk, never in your life, talk to me that way. If you do, I will block you and you won't talk to me again. If you don't know something, sit down and be taught. Tithe and offering. We can understand, maybe bigger churches may have a bigger tithe and offering. But the fact is that the bigger the church is, the bigger the responsibility. Go and find out. Find out. So as we gather around the table of the Lord this morning to thank him for the year, ask yourself, what have you brought before him? Is it worth his blessing in your life? Is it worth what he has done for you? When you squeeze that money and you are dancing forward here, or the one you have put in your envelope, or maybe the one you have transferred to the church account, ask yourself, that offering, does it worth what God has done for you this year? That should be the question that will be ringing in your mind. When you squeeze that money and they will be singing, "Na the thing where you give me, Papa, na you make I dey bring am." So, in truth, ask yourself, is that really what God has given to you for the year? I pray this morning, as I pray for myself, that the Lord will accept and bless our thanksgiving today through Christ our Lord.